I dreamt of a friend's car accident before it happened. I was sitting on the passenger side, she was driving. We came to an intersection, and someone was about to T-bone us. I screamed at her to move, 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 move. Then I woke up, with my heart beating out of my chest as if I had just been in a car accident. I didn't want to be the psycho and telling them I've had a dream, "Are you okay?" So I've just sent a random message. She replied normally. She is fine, no problem. Until that evening, she just sent us a picture of her dented car. After, she sends a voice note explaining how it happened. And literally every detail was the same, and the scariest part was that when she saw the other car coming, she didn't know why, but she moved the car a bit forward. If she hadn't done this, I wouldn't have hit the back of the car. It would have hit the side with her friend on the passenger seat.
I grew up in a really haunted house. But one of the main things to happen to me was when I was about 13. My room and my sister's room were the only two rooms upstairs in this house. I would religiously leave my radio on and a small lamp on every single night. For some reason, I felt a little less scared with them on when I went to sleep. Anyway, so my sister, she was sleeping out this particular night. I fell asleep with my light and radio on, and I'm not too sure how long I was asleep. But I heard my door open, which semi-woke me up instantly. I thought my sister came in my room before I opened my eyes. I felt two hands touch and hold over my eyes. I said out loud my sister's name, Mallory, stop, and physically pulled the hands off my face, eyes, to open my eyes to absolute silence. No one, and my radio and light were completely off, and my sister was not home. I slept downstairs in our living room for years afterwards.
Back when I was 20 years old, I moved back home with my dad and big sister. My sister had gotten rid of both our twin beds and replaced them with a single full-size bed. So we ended having to share her bed. One night we were both in bed sleeping. My sister woke me up when she sat straight up in bed, still fully asleep. Then she just laid back down on the bed like nothing happened. As soon as she laid back down, a very bright white male spirit came up through the mattress on the right side of my sister's right leg. He reached over her and grabbed my right knee with both of his hands. As soon as he did, he disappeared, vanished right in front of me. I quickly looked at my sister's alarm clock on her dresser that was at end of her bed. It showed it was 3:28 a.m. in the morning. The bedroom wasn't completely dark. We had some light from her alarm clock and her boombox. This male spirit looked young, late teens, tall, lean. He didn't face or eyes at all. I could feel his hands grabbing me. It was one of the creepiest experiences. I have many others. I'll never forget that night ever.
I was 14 and went with my dad for a gala in one of the ballrooms there. Never really believed in ghosts, but appreciated the novelty of it. Anyways, I started feeling ill the second I got in the hotel, and it was a unique pain and nausea. Anyways, I toughed it out for the night. Before we left, I went to the ladies' room to throw up. To be clear, you enter the bathroom and there's a lounge. Then beyond the lounge is the actual stalls. Nobody was in there, just me. Nobody was outside of the door, just my dad waiting. 10-15 minutes passed, and as I am walking out there, as this intense banging and knocking on the door, it was like someone on the other side of the door was fighting for their life. You could see the vibrations in the wood. I walk out thinking my dad was concerned about me. I confronted him and he was confused. There was nobody that was in the hall and nobody in the bathroom. My sickness left the second I left the building. It still messes with me to this day.
Working OT on the graveyard shift with a small crew of Filipino men, we were still overstaffed with the amount of workers we had. So I decided that I would go home. Unfortunately, my ride had left me and wouldn't be returning till morning, approximately 3 to 4 hours. So I just hanged around in the factory, mucking about until the last hour, where I decided to just hang out in the cafeteria with my speaker and watch the time count down. When all of a sudden I see movement in the corner of my eye. There was movement outside the cafeteria window. I turn to look and I see this small woman walking past the cafeteria windows and into the factory hand sanitizer station. I knew there was no women working on our shift, so I got up and chased after this person. As soon as I entered the hand sanitizer station and factory and trace, there was no signs of any person. The factory floor was empty. It is open space, so there was no beams or boxes or anything to obstruct the view. Then 2 of my colleagues just leaving the control tower, just finishing for the morning, come down, and I had asked them who had just entered the room. And they just replied, nobody. Then we all walked out to clock out for that morning 4:00 a.m.
When I was an RAA in college, we had a duty cell phone for our overnight shifts when the housing office was closed in case anyone needed something. One night it was my turn with the phone, and I always put it on the bedside table right next to me in case it rang while I was asleep. The next morning I awoke, and the phone was placed squarely in front of my laptop on my desk on the adjacent wall. I know I'd put it next to me, and I know for a fact that where I found it was never somewhere I would put it normally. Still have no idea what happened to this day.